And away from the People's Democratic Party to the Social Democratic Party, SDP, this time in Kogi State, where there's brewing conflict in the party over a state congress and who the chairman and leaders of the party are. Is it Mr. Moses Oricha or Honorable Ahmed Atta? Well, first, let's tell you that Mr. Oricha had described the party's state congress, which held on Wednesday, by those who described as some aggrieved members as criminal, illegal, null, void, and futile. He dismissed the organizers of the purported Congress as faceless. And according to him, he says his tenure as chairman of the Social Democratic Party in Kogi State and others in the leadership will expire in April 2026. He says he wonders why the rush to conduct what he calls an illegal Congress. Meanwhile, the other group in the party which conducted the Congress described Mr. Oricha as a suspended former chairman of the party, saying he was duly suspended and subsequently lost his position within the party and has no legal or moral standing to speak on behalf of the SDP or question the legitimacy of the recent Congress held in Lokoja on March the 12th. So let's get some more insight. That statement, by the way, which I just read, was signed by Mr. Isaiah Davis Ejele, the Press Secretary, SDP, Kogi State Chapter, and he joins us virtually on the program this afternoon. You're welcome to Lunchtime Politics. Thank you for joining us. So what we're seeing play out is quite different from what you expected after former governor of Kaduna State joined the SDP. A lot of people thought, well, the swelling in your ranks would at least mean that everybody will join ranks and say, now is the time to build your party. But what we're seeing play out in Kogi State is different from that. So speak to us. Well, he says on the one hand, INEC did not attend that state congress. So I want you to speak to that. Was INEC at that event?
Thank you very much. You see, ordinarily, we wouldn't have responded to Oricha Moses. No, just the record to set the record straight. You see, Oricha has been suspended immediately after the 2023 general election in Kogi State. And after him, we had the deputy governor to Muriden Abenemi as an interim committee chairman of the state SDP. Then to the Congress that was held, sanctioned and was held yesterday by the national chairman of the party, the person of Alhaji Shehu Khan. Now, where is Oricha coming from? Somebody that has been suspended over a year ago and is not claiming the chairman. In fact, he is the criminal. He should be arrested for impersonation.
Well, Mr. Ejele, I have to come in here and ask that you temper your words. So we can just speak to the issues and not denigrate or defame anybody's character. So I'll appreciate, without calling names or using those terms, just speak to the issues. Thank you.
He defamed our character by calling us criminals.
Not on this platform, so we'll not take that on this platform. Maybe on another platform, but on this platform, we'll stick to the issues.
Okay. Now, he has no moral standard to even question the legitimacy of the Congress. Attended by all the party's executive. It was attended by all the party executive. It was attended by the National Working Committee. It was attended by INEC, were duly informed, and every necessary organs of the party. So we didn't act illegal. There was nothing like illegal conduction of Congress. So I want to ask him to give us his office. Where is he operating from? Is he operating from the bush? Is he operating from his parlor? We had a Congress in the secretariat, the state secretariat of SDP in Lokoja, with a lot of with representatives from all the local government, with all the delegates from all the local government. So where was his own Congress head, or who recognized him as a state chairman? Listen to this. When a party is taking a shape to a new level, of course, you see those elements of people who will be sponsored by the state. These are the kind of people that Bello used and Ododo used during the election. But they couldn't stand the test of time because we had the people, we had the grassroots, we were on ground. So they couldn't perpetrate all their evil plot. Now, he can't match the energy, the integrity of Ahmedi Atta. Ahmedi Atta is now the chairman of SDP Kogi State. There is no two way about it. So all the claims, all the allegations are all false, and we heard our Congress in line with the constitution of the party, in constitution of SDP, in line with the national chairman of the party, with the working committee of the party, with the secretary of the party in Kogi State. So please, I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, yes. I was just going to be clear on the participation of INEC. Did you say that INEC was at that Congress yesterday?
We wouldn't have had any Congress without inviting INEC. And Orisha saying he sent a letter to INEC not to attend is laughable.
Pardon me, I just need to be clear. You invited INEC, quite all right. Did INEC show up?
INEC was in that Congress, and reports were duly submitted also. So it is, we have never done anything illegal. It was held at the secretary of the SDP.
All right. Just before I move on to my next question, just to be clear, who represented INEC at that Congress? Who was the representative of INEC?
I cannot recall the name, but who will provide you with all the details after now.
All right. So just to lay all the facts out there. Well, he also said that well, there's a pending case before a court of competent jurisdiction, and he says that this is a violation of that whole process. How do you speak to that?
There is no violation of the process. Listen to this, Mr. Coyote. Every party has their internal mechanisms and procedures for conducting Congress, which the Congress held yesterday have passed through all those processes. Now, Oricha, as a person, cannot question the legitimacy of such Congress. If he has anything, in fact, when we talk about the court, he was suspended as a result of anti-party activities. SDP is not like other parties where they condone anti-party activities. He was suspended for over a year ago. And the issue of being in court or not in court is not what we are talking about here. He is no longer the chairman of SDP, and he knows it. So in fact, the interim chairman of the SDP was the person of Sam Abenemi, even before now, who has held the position over 1 year before the emerge of Ahmedi Atta yesterday as elected chairman of SDP Kogi State. So the person we are talking about, Oricha Moses, is nowhere to be found. He has never been in the picture. He has never been in the picture. In fact, after the incident of his anti-party activities, he has been seen in several occasions with the APC in the state. He has joined other party, and you cannot be in Sokoto claiming to be in Jos at the same time. You cannot be a governor of Kogi State and claiming the same time the governor of River State. It's not possible. Oricha is nowhere to be found. As a matter of fact, there is no crisis in Kogi State at all. What happened is freedom of speech. If without the freedom of speech, I don't think you will have access to media. They are just running to media because, of course, they are being sponsored by the opposition to tarnish the integrity and image of the SDP in Kogi State.
Right.
But we are being led and by Alhaji Murtala Yakubu Ajaka. You know the fact what will happen in the last election. We know how we gave them the run of their life. You know how what the victory of SDP, even in INEC documentation, only being jettisoned on the altars and of technicalities as invented fraudulently by the judges. And I stand to be corrected. We won that election, and by the record, if Beavers was put to test in that judgment,
Mr. Ejele, I'll need you to be temperate with your words. I mean, those are very weighty allegations against the judiciary, and we at Channels Television will not take that, except you have proof to back that up. But please, I'd like you to speak to the issues and not denigrate the judiciary on that one. So if you have a case, absolutely take it to the court or give us evidence, then we can speak from that perspective. I appreciate that. I want you to speak to a deeper issue. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I said Chidoka report was displayed right on this channel television.
Well, except a court has declared the judges or the judiciary in those terms, we can't just take your word for it. That's why we have the institutions of the court. And this is not a court. This is a show, and we deal with facts. But I want you to speak to a deeper issue, right? You hardly look around any political party or any arm of government across board, you find one crisis or the other. Either people laying claim to a position, one single position, or there's a battle between an executive and the legislature, or there's just internal wranglings in political parties. And you find this all across board. It looks like no party is exempted. And I want to ask, as a politician, are you proud of this brand of politics that seems to be pervasive in this part of the world?
I call it lack of confidence, lack of self-confidence in most of those political parties.
No, including yours, Mr. Ejele. Your party is also in question here.
To the suspension of Oricha was as a result of anti-party activities. Get that point. There is no way no party will conduct such activities. And that is the reason you see PDP crisis is escalating on daily basis. You cannot be here and be there. It is either you are in APC, or you are in PDP, or you are in SDP, or you are in Labour Party. So once you are found in such activity and suspended, you are suspended. And those are the people that the opposition see as a mechanism, as a tool to be used against the progressive party. And it is very disheartening that the politics in this part of the world, just like you say, is no longer on merit, is no longer on manifesto, is no longer on vision, is no longer on conviction of the people. Let me ask you this time, do you know the fact how many people are being elected truly by their people today? It is laughable, the system we have created in Nigeria. And that is where INEC has to buckle up and to stand up for 2027. Beavers was introduced, and we all the young men of Nigeria, both young men, women, came into the political space with the hope that our election, our thumbprint, our voice will be counted. Unfortunately, that is not what we are saying. And that is why I spoke about the judiciary throwing some of the beavers on technicalities upon technicalities that does not resonate with the truth, with the standing order of beavers. And that is the problem we're having. So if all these things are being corrected, trust me, the bedrock of every democracy is opposition, constructive opposition that will hold the government accountable, that will checkmate the activities of the government. We don't have such opposition in Nigeria. Before you do it, before you say Jack, they will go after you. Before you say this, they will go after you.
So it's quite interesting. Right, pardon me. What I want to quickly put in is it's quite interesting because your party, the SDP, just received with pomp and pageantry someone from the ruling party whom you blame for at least the outcome of the previous election because the party is in government, but you received him with pomp and pageantry. Did you maybe pause to ask him, why are these issues happening? Because you claim they're responsible anyway for what we saw play out in the previous election.
He said it on the national television and with all his interview that the party has deviated from the original vision and the conviction and the reason for the merger and the vision to make Nigeria a better country.
And that's from 2 years. That's from 2 years ago, not before the election. It was after the election. He said 2 years ago.
But he just left the party, just left the seat as a governor. Do you expect him to criticize, to start anti-party activities while at the same time be the governor of the same party in the state? He cannot do that. So he has to wait for his tenure to elapse for him to take a decision. And trust me, El-Rufai Malala have been standing as the voice of the people. As you can look at his trajectory as FCT minister. A lot of works, great jobs are being done. And the same thing in Kaduna today. Have you been to Kaduna recently to see the El-Rufai as a governor of that state? Let's give it to him. And if there is a conviction now that, look, the party are deviating, and from the true vision, he has this right to move. And coming into our fold, glory be to God, because we need such energy, we need such vision, we need such conviction to join with the vision of SDP as a constructive opposition. I don't believe in ranting as an opposition without an element, with a substance of issues. And a lot of issues are going on in the country today that are not being addressed by the current government. Even on the same television that day, the person who came up to criticize El-Rufai forgot that he was a student of the same Malam. He was never elected as a senator until he joined the force and the caucus of Malam El-Rufai when he was a governor. And when he jettisoned the power, that the tools and the mechanism that brought him into power as a senator, he was thrown out. So you cannot be the same person today. If you wanted to, he could have tested his popularity by winning the last election. Then we know that, yeah, he is able, my then Senator Sani has the ability and capacity to undermine the integrity and the capacity of Malam El-Rufai. But he could not win any position after deviating from Malam Rufai. So he miscalculated his step. But if you look at the trajectory of Malam El-Rufai, he's a political mathematician. Let me call it that name.
Well, Mr. Ejele,
all his calculations always been true and has always come to pass and has been in all winning party and in winning groups. So
only time will tell. But what always amazes me is how, once you join another party, it looks like your sins are forgiven. All things are passed away. All things have become new. Politicians. But we have to thank you so much. We're speaking with Mr. Isaiah Davis Ejele, who's press secretary of the SDP Kogi State Chapter. You can hear him speaking passionately about the latest signing to his party. This is a story we're following, and of course, be getting back to you in the coming days in case anything changes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.